What up, everyone? Franchise History TV back again with another movie review. So I'm seeing, from what I'm seeing, Sopranos. The Sopranos is shoot, how long has it been since the show went out? 2007. Still a big topic for a discussion. That's when you know a show is good. That's when you really know when a show is good. But before I get into the main topic, which relates to The Sopranos, how about you like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff. But that's it. I ain't doing anymore. You know what I'm doing now. But the Saints, the many Saints of Newark, the Sopranos prequel. Here's my problem with this movie. And here's why I have a problem with a lot of prequel movies lately that have been coming out. I had a problem with Star Wars, with this prequels. I had a problem with the X-Men prequels. I even had a problem with the Lord of the Rings, or mainly The Hobbit. I just have a problem with prequels in general, because when they make these franchises and then they go back 20 years later and trying to make a prequel, they tend to mix up stuff up and forget what was said in the previous series. Like, perfect example, Star Wars. You had the addition of the midi-chlorians for some weird reason, which I know pissed a lot of people off. You have stuff like that. Stuff that don't make sense. You just add stuff that didn't exist before. I also have another problem, and this mainly is not really, you really can't avoid, maybe you can, I don't know. I saw this in the Predator prequel, Prey. Sometimes the technology, for some reason, is better in the prequels than the original film. I don't know, but in this case, for the many Saints of Newark, there was a couple things that were kind of off to me. For one, me and my friends was discussing the movie. We was under the impression that Silvio was around the same age as Tony. In this movie, I think he's slightly older than Tony. I think Tony in this movie is like a teenager. Silvio Dante is probably like a 20-something-year-old man. I was always under the impression that maybe Sil was a couple years older, not too much older, or around the same age as Tony. I don't know. It's confusing to me. And here's the biggest issue I have with this movie. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen this movie yet. The death of Chrissy's dad, Dickie Montesanti. Maybe it's up for interpretation, or maybe it's just bad storytelling by Tony later on. But or maybe it's just try to cover up for his uncle, well, Tony's uncle, Junior's Soprano. But I was under the impression that we all saw it might have been that cop that Chris shot in season, I forgot what season 3 or 4. I forgot what season it was. But the story just seems, I wouldn't say all over the place, but maybe not told truthfully. But it just seems, at first it seems goofy that Junior would assassinate Dickie over Junior laughing and falling on the stairs and hurting his back. But now that I think about it and actually watched a couple of scenes again, I actually got why he killed him. Simply because there was 3 things that was going on. It seemed like Junior was kind of like lower than Dickie. Like Tony liked Dickie more. Tony's mom liked Dickie more. And Johnny Soprano liked Tony more. It's like he was kind of bashing on him. As it seemed like Tony treated Dickie more as an uncle than his actual uncle. And it seemed like Junior was just, jealous of it. So you had to get rid of him. He has to go. Or maybe the story of, maybe it was the cop that Chrissy killed actually was the higher hit that shot Dickie. Maybe. I think for the most part, it seemed like this movie was rushed, and it seemed like it would have been better as a mini series, or mini series, not so much of a 6-7 season TV show, like a mini series, like they doing with the MCU. Um, Most people call this a David Chase fever dream, or David Chase fever. What's it called? Fan fiction dream or something. Because it just seems like certain things were out of place, you know. And I just didn't really get a feel for certain characters. Like, maybe it should have been more Tony in it, but you watched The Sopranos for that. But it just seemed like he was more off in the back and only used when needed to. And they put, I wouldn't say random characters in it, but some characters you wouldn't know who was who. Like most of the way I was trying to figure out who was who. Like I was trying to figure out who Paulie was, trying to figure out who Sil was. There was a lot of that going on. I didn't even know Carmela was in it until I looked on who was in this movie. Just a lot of things was, I don't know, off to me. But for the most part, I would have to say this movie was 5 out of 10. It was better as a mini series. They focus more on Dickie, and they focus on what's Leslie Odom's character's name? I forgot his name in that movie. In this movie, they focus on him more, and they even had Frank Lucas in this movie. But I do say this though, I can see where Tony gets his anger fits from, and how he treats certain people. And it probably could have came from Dickie. Same thing with Chris too, but it could have came from Dickie, because Dickie killed his own dad. Oh, I can see why he killed his own dad. His dad was an abuser, but Dickie killed his own Guma. Dang, she was fine too. I forgot her name. What was her name? I know it starts with Giuseppe. I don't want to messed up the name. But he killed her, drowned her ass, and put her ass in the ocean. But I can kind of see where Tony gets his craziness from. He probably idolized the guy. But also it seemed like Dickie was a drug addict, even though he wasn't doing drugs. He's trying to give the medicine to Tony's mom. But I don't know. I just don't like. I'm starting not to like prequel movies anymore. If they're not gonna follow what happened in the original series, but it is what it is at this point. But yeah, 5 out of 10. I give this movie. Many Saints of Newark. Still stands. The Sopranos, the TV show, is still better, and always be better, and will be one of the best TV shows that was ever released on television. But that's all I gotta say about this movie. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments below, and I will see you again in another review. Oh yeah, keep in mind, for any people who been watching my videos for 2 years now, there will be a horror month, but it's mostly gonna be a lot of reviews, movie reviews, horror reviews. So expect that along the way. But I will see you guys again in a different video. Peace.